Alright, so I've been looking for retro computers for a very long time, and I may have found at least what I think is one of the perfect ones, in my opinion. Come on, baby, open her up. Yeah, we have paper, fantastic. You gotta have paper with your computer. We got the power cord, which is obvious. Every computer needs a power cord to, to plug it into the wall. Here she is, guys. Here she is. Let's chug her down. God, seeing this stuff, it just makes me feel so nostalgic, you know? Voila, look at that. My Dell Dimension 2350. Now, as you can see, we got dust. I got this off of eBay, and I got this for only, if we're counting shipping and tax, I only paid about, $75 for this? So, yeah, this is actually pretty cheap. Why didn't you get, like, a Dell Dimension 3000 or anything from, 2005? One reason, and one reason alone, Windows 98. This computer can run Windows 98. Heck, there's even drivers for it and everything. So we should be able. I see it. It's got dual DVD drives even with the volume knobs too. Yeah, you can tell that's old school. Where the DVD drives had like the volume knobs and the headphone jacks on them. Dual USB ports. I believe they're 1.1 or they're either 1.1 or USB 2. I can't exactly remember, but yeah, no, here's the floppy drive. Yeah, remember when floppy drives were a thing? Because I sure do. Let's take a look at the back. Oh, so obviously, you got your power supply here, the power plug. You got PS2 keyboard and mouse. You got a VGA and a parallel port. And I think this is, I can't remember what they call these ports. Are they called like printer ports or something like that? I don't exactly remember. We got, the microphone jack. We got the headphone jack, and we got the line-in jack. So, basically your typical, lower-end budget computer for... When did this come out? What was it, 2002, I think this thing came out? And it looks like down here, actually, someone even put a dial-up modem card into this thing, too. So, useless nowadays, but back then, you gotta keep in mind, pretty much almost everyone had dial-up, This was during a time when, if you wanted, what you have, I guess I shouldn't say now, but if you wanted, broadband or Ethernet, it would cost you a lot of money to have those kinds of plans. This is gonna be my first time opening this computer. Like I said, this is the first time seeing this in person, because the Nostalgia Mall, a fellow YouTuber, he was actually talking about, for quite a while, I shouldn't say quite a while, but he uploaded a few videos, and even as recently as I think it was 2017, talking about how you could still use this computer for, for retro gaming. You know what? He's definitely correct about that, because if you want, you could use this for its intended purpose, being, let me show you. The Windows XP sticker right there, or like I said, you could put Windows 98 on this thing as well. So you could actually have this as a Windows 98 machine if you wanted to. And honestly, for retro PC gaming, that's where I would go personally, because yeah, older 16-bit programs at the time, they were completely different in terms of their code. So if you wanted to run it on a 64-bit operating system, for example, you were completely out of luck. Now, if you ran a 32-bit operating system, on the other hand, let's say, like Windows XP or Windows 2000, it has that compatibility layer for 16-bit programs. However, with the 64-bit operating system, you lost that layer. So pretty much your best option is to go with Windows 98, because not only did it support those older computer games that wouldn't run well, or or at all on Windows NT versions. But this, because it's Windows 98, if you wanted to, and if you had the right sound card, you could actually run DOS games on this thing too. I mean, granted, DOS gaming for the probably, I would honestly would not recommend this machine if you're just going into DOS gaming, because you need ISA slots in order for your sound card. Getting back to this, now I just saw this like less than a week ago. I bought this off of eBay, and I'm gonna tell you, this little Saga, I'm very excited to be going through this with you. So let's take a look at the inside of this thing, shall we? Enough babbling on, let's take a look at the inside of this thing. To open this, before I start, to open this, all you have to do, and what's cool about these Dell Dimensions, these older Dell Dimensions, is that if you wanted to upgrade, like if you wanted to add like a sound card or a graphics card, or you know, if you wanted to make changes to your system, all you had to do, you didn't have to unscrew anything. All you had to do, there's this little lever on the back, you just pull down, and then you push this door back, and it just comes right off. I love that design. That's like one of my favorite designs in like any OEM computer. But yeah, no, despite the dust, yeah, you can tell this is actually pretty clean. You know, there isn't any, yeah, I don't really even see like any minor dust blankets. You know, it actually looks pretty good. Yep, 128 megs of RAM. And I believe this has, if I remember correctly, a Pentium 4 2.2 gigahertz Northwood. It's just, this is just so fascinating to have, you know, this piece of Dell, basically like retro computing history. So I got this is, I believe, and yes, I know you're going to laugh. You are going to laugh your butt off. In fact, let me take it out. The GeForce 2 MX400. Again, you're going to laugh, being all like, oh, why did you choose this video card? Why couldn't you choose like an FX 5200? Or why couldn't you choose like a GeForce 3 Ti card? Well, for the GeForce 3 Ti, that's an AGP card. So, unfortunately, because there's no AGP slot, those kinds of cards are out of the question here. Now, you might be wondering as well, and an even more interesting question, again, why would I choose this over the FX 5200, for example? Because they basically perform the same, except the FX 5200 supports like full-on DirectX 9. So you might be thinking, oh, why would you choose this card? Well, one simple reason: compatibility. So it's very interesting with graphics cards with older computers, because you know how now you basically want like the newest drivers that you can, so that way, you know, more games can play. However, and it's actually kind of hilarious, for older computers, at least with NVIDIA drivers, I don't know about like the other graphics card brands or the other major players, but with NVIDIA, with old NVIDIA cards, you actually want the older the driver, the better. Because, sure, with newer drivers, there'll be some optimizations. The problem with the newer drivers is that compatibility for certain games, you know, either completely gets screwed up, or certain games just won't run anymore. Like, look at Lego Island 2, or Lego Island, for example. That game, if you have an NVIDIA card, you want something at least like this. Because the earliest driver for this is from March of 2001, while the earliest driver for the FX 5200 is from 2003. And 2 years makes a big difference. Oh, come on, don't do this to me now. There we go. And I think they call this an IDE to SD card adapter. You can find these pretty easily on Amazon for pretty cheap. I'll actually put a link in the description on where you can get these. You can get these on Amazon pretty easily, and they work. Like, they're really quick. I'm actually doing in the future to this computer too is this. This is the Pentium 4 2.8 gigahertz Northwood. So it's basically in, it's basically in the same family as this, only it's just much quicker. So, I want to build like the ultimate, I shouldn't say like ultimate, but like at least as ultimate and as compatible as I can 2350. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, I plugged it. Oh, it's turning on. It's turning on. Oh, yeah, it's beeping. Yeah, it works, baby. Yeah. Woo! Let's go. That really sucks though that this doesn't have AGP, because yeah, honestly, if this had AGP in it, this would be like one of the best, in my opinion, like Windows 98 computers. Let's put the card in, just so that way we don't, okay, come on. Get in there, ya. There we go. Alright, so after a bit of scourging, I actually managed to find a couple more parts. So I actually have a 512 megabyte stick of RAM. And yes, this is a DDR400 PC3200. So yeah, no, this will be perfect for this computer. And then I also managed to find an Unreal Vortex 2 sound card. Now, again, is this fully compatible with DOS? No. Because again, you don't have the ISA slots on the board. Windows 98 games, for example. So nothing, like, let's say nothing MS-DOS related. This card's good. You're good with this card. Plus, if you really wanted to, and actually this is what I'm gonna think of, this is actually what I'm thinking about doing. And yes, I know it's sacrilegious. I'm gonna be playing my DOS games in DOSBox. Yes, I know. You can use DOSBox in Windows 98. And yes, I know this is not a monitor technically, this is a TV, but this was all I could find. So once I find a VGA cable, we should be all good. So after this, hopefully everything should be set up.
The next day.
Alright, so, yes, ladies and gentlemen, here we are the next morning. Actually, technically it's afternoon, because I had to run to the store and get a VGA cable. Yeah, it works! Alright! She works like a charm, ladies and gentlemen. She works absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. Let's see the setup real quick. Yeah, that time is completely off. I might have to change the CMOS battery in this thing. So yeah, we got a Pentium 4 2.2 gigahertz with a 400 megahertz bus speed. So obviously, this means obviously not all Pentium 4s are gonna work in this computer. Just the Northwoods. Any Northwood that has the same bus speed. Primary, secondary, yes, that's all good. So yeah, we're pretty good here. We're actually going to change this, because for the next part, we're actually going to... There we go. So yeah, what we're actually going to do is, for the next part, we're actually going to install the software. So yeah, as you can see, we're pretty good here. Next thing I do is, with my SD card, I basically put it into my adapter. I plug that adapter into my computer, and basically, you then want to run VMware Workstation as administrator, because it won't let you use a physical drive if you just have it running normally. So when you open VMware, you want to create a new virtual machine, and then click next until you get to the selected disk part, which at that point you want to click use a physical disk, and it'll show you like all the devices in a selection menu. You want to select your hard drive that has that number, and to figure out that number, all you got to do is go into the built-in Windows partition tool, and you can see the number right there. So at that point, and you know, after you finish everything, your Windows 98 ISO should be loaded, by the way. You have to have your Windows 98 ISO image. Yeah, then you just basically just, you know, you format and you create the partition on your SD card, because when you're in the virtual machine here, you're actually using your SD card. So, you know, you create the partition, you know, you make sure it's all set up and ready to go, and then once you reboot again, you'll have that menu, and you want to, so next what you want to do is you want to click Start Computer with CD-ROM support, so you'll have the ability to copy files from the disk, which is what we're gonna wanna do. So you change your default, or you change your Active Directory to D, or whatever your disk drive is. So you do that, and then type in format C:, and now what you wanna do is type in CD Win98. This will change your default directory to the Win98 directory, which has all the cab files. So this also has the tool to format your drive. So after you change your directory, you just type format C:, and unfortunately, in my case, I couldn't do the quick format here, so I just let it do its thing. And even then, it wasn't that big of a deal because it was on an, you know, it was on an SD card anyway, so it was actually kind of fast. But, you know, it formatted, it let me create the label for the partition. Then what you want to do is change your default drive again back to C. Now what you want to do is make a directory in Windows, change your directory to Windows, make directory options, CD options, and then you want to make a directory in that called cabs, and then you change your directory to that. What you want to do from that point is just basically copy whatever your drive letter is, which in my case, again, is D. So for me, it'd be copy D: /Win98, and this should copy all of the cab files. So after that's done, we should be able just to take out the SD card, put it back into our old computer, and we should see the Windows 98 command prompt when we boot. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually changing the directory, so I'm in Windows /option/cab. So what I'm actually going to do now is we are going to run setup, I believe, and then IS to skip the scan disk. There we go, perfect. So now at this point, what you want to do, because we copied all the files instead of installing with the disk, for this part, we're actually just going to select other directory, hit enter, and then just delete the 3 zeros and the dot. So that way, you know, it installs. Because basically what's happening is that because we made that directory, it thinks, you know, Windows 98's already installed. So, and we're going to install it into that main, you know, Windows folder. So, yes. Now, the reason why I do it that way, I install it that way, is because not only does it make the install process, as you can see, much faster, but if you have to install drivers, or if you need drivers from the yeah, we're gonna install everything here minus multi-language support. Oh, you know what, why not, we'll add multi-language. But yeah, no, putting those cab files on the drive will actually help us install certain things like drivers, like for the monitor and all that. You don't even need a disk. Well, yeah, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The install process is commencing. Let's see how quickly this thing installs. Probably going to be pretty fast. Oh, yeah, look at that. No, look. Look. Yeah, look at that. We're already at 5%. I love this Windows 98 setup screen. I don't know why. It just... I mean, I've seen it so many times, but honestly, I still think it looks just so nostalgic. It just looks great. Put in my name, and why not for a company? Let's be like, I don't know. Who cares? All right, we're gonna accept the agreement. I'm losing my mind here. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how quickly it's installing everything. Yeah, look at that. Look at, yeah, see, and because we copied all the things to the drive itself, look. Yeah, you don't even, see, now you don't even need the disk to install, like, programs that are, you know, that are on the disk. So so it basically makes your life a whole lot easier. 64 megs of video RAM. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, as you can see here, it is copying stuff super quick. So yeah, see, this is what I mean. It's looking for the monitor, the basic hardware. Boom, done. Yeah, look how quick this is going too. We don't even have the graphics driver installed, but look how quick this is going. Oh my god. That is nuts. Brave, yeah, who cares? So, yeah, as you can see, because the operating system is so old, it doesn't even recognize it as a Pentium 4. It recognizes it as a Family 15 Model 2 Stepping 4. I don't know why, I always found that hilarious, but yeah, if we go into Device Manager here, as you can see, we're missing a few of the drivers. So what I'm actually going to do is turn the computer off, put my SD card into my computer, and then copy those drivers from there. We'll do the Windows 98 USB drivers first. Not now. Let's install the chipset drivers next. Yeah, and again, as you can see, because these are all on the drive, you know, just how quick this thing goes. It's ridiculous. Alright, so, yeah, I will... Yes, I'm one of those rebels who will restart his computer later. I don't know why the NVIDIA folder isn't in here. Oh, I'm stupid. Let me move that out here. Let's install the NVIDIA drivers first. Now, yeah, like I said, I always, for the older cards, I always like to go for the oldest drivers possible, because again, the older your driver is, the more compatibility you have. So, yeah, basically, you're gonna have like the best. You could play, yeah, with more compatibility, obviously, that means the more games you'll be able to play. Booyah, look at that. Nice. It actually looks, you might not be able to tell on the camera, but the colors definitely do now look a lot better. And there we go. You may as well call this episode Pitgrave Can't Figure Out How to Use a Monitor. But anyway, guys, yeah, as you can see, we got Internet Explorer here. Internet mail? Who needs that? Man, internet. Man, the internet back then was interesting. Could it really be that good? The answer is yes. All right, how do you put? Okay, Alt F4. That should do. Wow, look at this. Look at this. They don't even have a way to close the window here. You literally have to press Alt and F4 just to quit. I literally can't quit out of this. How do you... Control Delete? Location information. Can we... Oh my god, I literally cannot close this for the life of me. Okay, there we go. Ooh. This interface does look kind of cool, I will say. Get the TV listings. Oh my god, Judge Judy. Is that still going? I think it is, but... Oh my god. Big farts. Okay, I don't have... Okay, no. How about you go away then? What's the point? So, desktop themes? I guess I'll leave it as it is for right now. Actually, or at the very least, let's change... Actually, I think one of my favorite... One of my favorites... No, I don't want stretch, I want tile. One of my favorite backgrounds? Where is it? I think I passed it. There we go. Red blocks, baby. Yeah, I love that pattern. I don't know why, I love that pattern. But, yeah, look how clean that looks. Oh, man, that looks good. Actually, I wonder. The next video in the saga, we are actually going to be installing some games and some software and just having a good old time. So, until next time, guys, this is Pickrave signing off.